What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. This video, go get it. Yeah, go get the book. This video is entitled What I Learned from My Car Accident. Last year in October, I got in a car wreck. My car got totaled. Wasn't my fault. 0% at fault. I got rear-ended by a guy who just basically kamehameha in my car, you know. So I've basically been in that process for almost a year now. And this is what I've learned on multiple different aspects about a car wreck. First, I went to the hospital. Well, no. First lesson. You know, the cops was like, they questioned me. So, oh, you got really good insurance. We thought you wouldn't have good insurance. I'm like, so I got racially insurance profile. Like that night, I'm head got swollen and shit. I didn't even know that at the time. But, you know, so I'm questioning about my insurance. So I learned, you know, people worry about the wrong thing sometimes when you get in a car wreck. Maybe that's protocol, whatever. Like, you know, it wasn't my fault, but you got insurance? Yeah, I got insurance. You're going to see if you really... They tried to see if I was riding dirty, basically. And I'm like, I just got in a car wreck. You trying to see if I'm riding dirty? Seriously. But whatever. I learned, because I'm in Texas, my insurance company couldn't get the police report. So imagine, you know, I got two cars. I had my old car and I got the car that I drive to work, my hoopty, basically. I learned that they don't give a shit if you hurt in an accident. You got to go pick up that paper yourself. So I'm a month later still limping and all messed up. And I got to drive downtown to the police station to get my own police report, you know, walking like Fred Sanford and Ray Charles. I learned it's not it's not as, people are not going to actually handle the business that you would think should be handled on your behalf if you get in a car wreck. As far as the doctor's concerned, I learned from a doctor standpoint that I think a lot of people go get in the car wrecks, and I guess people be bullshitting and you know, and making up fake injuries for money. So when I went to the hospital, they was like, oh yeah, whatever. You're in a car wreck, whatever. We just go, And I'm like, yo, I'm fucked up, yo. Like, I'm hurting right now. We just gonna give you a CAT scan and get you the fuck out of here. I'm like, what? And then come to find out later, because I went from the hospital and I used my health insurance because I was like, this is not gonna work. And my doctor told me, he was like, he said, you know, a lot of times us doctors don't like insurance companies because they don't pay out. They just stall. They don't pay out. So it's like, if somebody gets in a car wreck, it's like, man, I'm not finna go through this, you know. So you could literally just be in serious pain because people don't take insurance companies to be trustworthy. You know, they trustworthy with taking your money, but paying out, not so much. So I learned that lesson. So I went to rehab. I went to rehab for a while, actually. I had to go to different rehabs. I learned that, you know, something I knew already about the body. Like, you don't really feel it at first. Like, in my wreck, I didn't feel it at first. Like, I felt everything after the wreck. Like, that night, I was good. The next day, not so good. I wasn't good for a minute, right? So one of the things I learned about that was, you know, if you have multiple injuries, you can overlook something because other things hurt more. So like I had like my forehead was swollen, right? And there's old videos of me and I got like a little line down the middle of my forehead where it's puffed up. It was swollen. It was burnt from the airbag, right? So, and then my back was messed up, and my shoulder was killing me, and my hip was killing me. Like basically everything was really, I think I want to say everything on the right side of my, like it just everything on the right side was just fucked up, you know. And I remember initially going to the doctor like, okay, you know, my head is okay, my back, my hip is killing me, and the shoulder shit, shoulder, it'll be alright. I mean, it don't hurt as bad as everything else. So obviously, if it doesn't hurt as bad as everything else, it's gonna heal. Turns out to be the worst thing that was hurt. Turns out, you know. So I went to rehab. I couldn't jog, and I'm an active person. I couldn't jog. I couldn't lift weights the way I wanted to anymore because, you know, my back was killing me. My leg was killing me. Like I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't put on clothes. I couldn't move, dog. I was literally hurt, and then it got worse. And I learned that also. It gets worse. Like I'm a person since I was active. The more I sat down, I had to hurry up and go back to work because the more I rested, the worse I felt. So I had to actually move to get myself out of pain. Things I learned, right? I learned to be creative, you know, because come to find out, as everything slowly started healing, my shoulder was the worst thing. I had to get an MRI on that, and the worst part of that was I had a tear in my rotator cuff. And then, you know, the insurance people was like, well, what? Like, yo, I thought it would, you know, my shoulder was just sore and it healed on its own because I'm active or whatever. Like, you know, I didn't think it was going to last forever. But it took me 6 months to start jogging again. I literally started jogging 6 months after the accident. So it's like, you know, so the shoulder was like, okay, understood. And I was doing a lot of things left-handed. And here's the thing. If you hurt a part of your body, like, I figured I could just compensate and do a lot of things as a lefty. I went to do the rehab after the MRI on my shoulder, for my shoulder. It's like, you know, you could have locked your shoulder because I'm just doing shit like this all the time and like, you know, working and lifting like this, and I didn't realize I was just basically locking it in one spot, so it was making it worse. Because I was going, you know, trying to just let it heal by leaving it alone. That's not a good idea. So I, you know, icing, stretching, and all that other stuff. By the time I started working out, I had to get creative with workouts. I haven't done a bench press since last October because I can't. You know, this, like I can do this standing up, like on this, but you know, when you bring I can't do that. Like with weight on it, that makes me want to choke somebody. So what happens is, it's like, you know, I learned to do different workouts. You know, I learned, you know, to rest. The weird thing about a car wreck is, you know, I didn't rest, and I still don't as well as I should, but you need a good night's sleep. I also learned insurance companies stall, bullshit, and try to lowball you, you know, because that's what they feel like they could do. And truth be told, I learned you can find out what's real and how the process goes and what they're going to try to do to you online. Just type in anything you know what about a car wreck. Google that shit. They'll tell you, you know, how the payouts go, how, you know, how long it's going to take, you know, the type of tactics they're going to use, you know, if you got a lawyer, what the lawyer's supposed to get paid, all that shit, right? And I learned, you know, that sometimes you gotta realize you gotta stand on your own and on your worth. You know, I learned that, like, these people are not here to look out for you. They don't care about you. You know, they care about taking your money and And when you don't get in accidents, they don't care about paying you if you do. You know, and ultimately, excuse me, um, ultimately you're gonna have to fight for everything. You know, because they want you to. Like I learned that people are just like there are people out in the world who will play up injuries they don't have. They'll and try to screw up an insurance company, which I think is wrong. An insurance company will play down your injuries and try to screw you out of money too, which I also think is wrong. So, you know, you got to actually fight for what you feel like you earn. Oh, and before I go, I also learned that if you have an injury, you got to be careful about it, because if you say you're done and you settle, you can't go back if something else happened to you because you already settled. So make sure, take into consideration your injuries, how your injuries can affect your life, your job or your livelihood, and your future before you settle anything. You know, because if you, because there are people who got in wrecks and then 2, 3, 4, 5 months later something else happened to them because of that wreck, and then they try to go back and say, yo, I'm fucked up because of that wreck and I didn't know this was going to happen. This is like a residual effect. They don't want to hit it. You already settled. So you got to take these things into consideration. So things that I learned. Oh, well, take this back. Your body may or may not heal properly. You may have good days or bad days after it. Me personally, when I was going to rehab and able to actually start working out again, I work out every day now just to make sure that I can at least maintain my body, because it's not what it used to be. But if I actually take a day or two off, I get bad. So I'm working out every day. One day I'm jogging, one day I'm at the gym, and it is what it is. I mean, you got to turn a bad situation into a good one. I mean, I kind of got in good shape again, but you know, some accidents are worse than others. There's some things I still can't do, some things I can do, but I don't bench press no more. I damn near killed myself trying to do the deadlift. I just ain't certain shit. I'm done, son. Fucking done. That's it. I'm retired. You know, but these are the things I learned from my car accident. Peace.